In any high-stakes job, whether it's a towering construction site or a really complex engineering project, the line between a smooth operation and a serious accident can be razor thin. It can come down to a single unplanned moment. So how do you manage that risk? Well, today we're diving into the one document that's designed to turn that potential chaos into real control, the method statement. So to really get a grip on the power of a method statement, we're going to follow a pretty clear path. First, we'll look at the chaos, the real dangers of unplanned work. Then we'll bring in our solution and break down its blueprint. And finally, and this is the most important part, we'll see how to take that plan from just paper and put it into action where it actually counts. Okay, so let's start with the why, right? Before we even get to the solution, we've got to understand the high-risk reality of a job site where planning kind of takes a back seat. Seriously, just take a moment and picture it. You've got the roar of machinery, parts moving everywhere, people working on different levels. It's like a symphony of controlled chaos. But the question is, what happens when that control is just an assumption? Without a shared plan, how does anyone really stay safe? And that right there is the heart of the problem. When the stakes are this high, winging it isn't just inefficient, it is downright dangerous. It's a direct path to mistakes, to super costly delays, and worst of all, it puts people's lives on the line. This is the chaos we're here to talk about controlling. So, how do we bring some order to that potential chaos? Well, that brings us to the official game plan, the method statement. This is the document designed to manage exactly that kind of risk. All right, so what is this thing really? A method statement, and you might also hear it called a safe work method statement, or SWMS, is basically a super detailed step-by-step guide. It's a formal document that says, look, here is the job we need to do, and here's exactly how we're going to do it safely. Now, what's so cool here is that this document is about way more than just ticking a safety box. I mean, yeah, safety assurance is number one, for sure. But look closer. It's also about regulatory compliance, keeping you on the right side of the law. It's about quality control, making sure the job actually gets done right. And maybe, just maybe, the most important one, clear communication. It gets everyone, workers, supervisors, contractors, on the exact same page. It's a single tool for safety, compliance, quality, and clarity. Pretty powerful stuff. So, we know what it is and why it's so important. Now let's pop the hood and see what this safety blueprint is actually made of. I love this analogy. Think of a really good method statement, like a recipe for a complex, maybe even dangerous dish. The scope of work, that's what you're making. Responsibilities, that's your head chef, your sous chefs. Resources are all your ingredients and tools. Safety controls, well, those are your oven mitts and your fire extinguisher. And the operational sequence, that's the actual step-by-step method. You can see how every single critical piece of information has its own place. But here's a super crucial point. The method statement never works in isolation. Think of it like the team captain. It calls the plays, but it relies on a whole support team of other documents to handle all the finer details. For example, a method statement will point to a detailed risk assessment. That's where the hazards were identified in the first place. It might be paired up with a permit to work for a really dangerous job like welding, or it'll reference material safety data sheets for any chemicals being used. It all links together to form one big, comprehensive safety system. Now, a method statement isn't something you just write once, file away, and forget about. Nope, it's a living document. It has a 5-step life cycle that brings the plan off the page and onto the worksite where it matters. So it all flows pretty logically, right? You prepare and you draft, then it goes through a critical review and approval stage. But step 4, communication, that's where so many plans fall apart. If the team isn't briefed on the plan, what's the point? It's useless. And finally, you have to actively monitor the work in real time. So you can see it's not a static document. It's a dynamic cycle that guides the work from start to finish. Okay, for our last section, let's talk about what really matters, making sure this plan actually works in the real world. Because let's be honest, a plan that isn't followed is just wasted paper. And honestly, this slide right here says it all. The difference between a plan that works and one that doesn't is like night and day. A good one is specific. It's written for this site, for this job, for today. It uses simple, clear language that everyone can understand. It's a living thing, updated the moment conditions change. The bad one?
Oh, it's just a generic, copy-pasted template full of confusing jargon that nobody's touched in months.
Wow, I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? A generic plan protects no one from a specific accident. You just can't use a generic solution for a very specific problem. The real power of a method statement is in the details. It has to be tailored to the exact conditions, the specific people, and the precise tasks. That is what saves lives. So I'm going to leave you with this one last question to think about. Whether you're the one writing these plans or the one out there following them, this is the ultimate test. Does the plan on the paper actually match the reality on the ground? When the answer to that is yes, that's when you know you've successfully turned chaos into control. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.